For 3 decades, the Texas Sportsman has brought you the best in outdoors programming. This year, we're celebrating our 30th year of hunting, fishing, and enjoying the great outdoors like never before. Join us as we explore and learn to love some of the most beautiful places right here on the Texas Sportsman. Brought to you by the Osiris Gonzalez Law Firm, Capital Farm Credit, Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors Magazine, South Padre Boat Rentals, L&F Distributors, Busch Light, Shallow Sport Boats, and the Sportsman in San Benito. The adventure begins right here, right now, with your hosts, Fred and Cindy Rodriguez.
Hey folks, welcome to the Texas Sportsman. I'm your host, Fred Rodriguez, with my beautiful wife, Cindy. And today we're at the Margo Ranch, and we've been here at the Margo Ranch for about 15 years now, honey.
About, yeah.
Yeah, and I have the privilege and the pleasure of being the lease manager of the Margo Ranch here in Stark County. Big shout out to Dr. Roberto Margo and his sons and his wife for allowing us to do this. So what we're looking for today, when I talk about management, we're talking about managing the ranch, having to do with the feeding, the proper feeding, also the harvesting logs, staying intact with the Texas Parks and Wildlife, because this is a MLD ranch, which we'll go into a little bit later in the program. But the good thing is I'm looking for my cull buck or management buck, and my wife has already shot her doe.
I sure did.
And how did that feel?
It felt real good. I felt we needed meat in the freezer. I harvested the doe, and we have meat in the freezer for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I still remember that afternoon. It was late afternoon, and we were tracking for it, and I heard the shot. So we found it. We went tracking for it. That's why we call the show Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. Big shout out to our buddies over there in Edinburgh, Eddie and Marco Aguilar with Tipple Tex Deer Processing. Those guys are busy. If you harvest a deer, a nail guy, or a hog, be sure and head their way. So stay with us on the Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. We'll be right back right after this.
Deep in the heart of South Texas ranch country is the beautiful Margo Ranch. Established in 1897, it's one of the crown jewels of South Texas ranch country. Today, we're going to get an in-depth look at this big, beautiful ranch located in Stark County, Texas. We'll explore and admire this working ranch as Fred and Cindy go on the hunt for a cull buck. A cull buck is an older male deer that is harvested from the deer population. This ensures that the younger generation of bucks can continue to increase the viability and well-being of the deer population at the ranch. We'll also learn the techniques of the trade as Fred demonstrates how a ranch of this size is managed. Which ensures a balanced ecosystem and the surety that the deer and wild game on the ranch is in great shape. There's nothing like the great South Texas outdoors, and there's nobody better to share his 3 decades of knowledge with you than our very own Fred Rodriguez. Right here on the Texas Sportsman. Coming up, Ranch Management 101. We'll be right back. Gotta have it. We're back at Margo Ranch in Starr County, Texas with Fred and Cindy as they're out searching for a cull buck that will be harvested and removed from the deer population here. All of this is part of an effective management strategy to maintain the deer population at the ranch as healthy and robust as possible. As Fred and Cindy head to their respective blinds in search of the right buck, Fred is going to share some vital information about hunting safety. Brought to you by our good friends at Bush Light. In their tip of the week, here's Fred.
Hey folks, welcome back. One of the things that I've always done when I'm going deer hunting is always think of safety. And just a reminder, that we're dealing with deer rifles, long rifles, and you always want to be safe. So I'm not even loaded yet. I'm in the blind. I'm sitting down. I got my cameraman right next to me, Rick. And so what I like to do is once I'm in the blind, I'll go ahead and get ready. And now that I'm sitting down, now I'm going to go ahead and load. Okay. Go ahead and put one on the top, as we call it. Make sure my rifle is on safety. It's set. Never put my finger on that trigger until I'm ready to go ahead and shoot and harvest my animal, if I'm going to do that. But my finger never touches that trigger ever until I'm ready. Okay? So keep it out here. It's on safety. Remember, always treat your rifle as if it's loaded. Okay? Tip of the week brought to you by Bush Light. We'll be right back. Well, folks, it's coming to the end of the afternoon hunt, and this is what happens sometimes when you come hunting. We didn't see one single deer. Not even a bobcat, javelina, coyote. It's real quiet, but very peaceful. But when you come deer hunting out here, you just never know when the deer are going to be coming out. You got to look at the conditions, which I did. And we'll see what happens on the next time we come out, most likely in the morning. Stay with us. We'll see what happens. Big body, small rack. Dark fur. I'm waiting for him to turn. Waiting for him to turn. Yeah.
And this is the part where you figure out why we call it Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. We've got to find this deer. They always leave some telltale sign.
Some dig outs. Look for some blood. Assault run this way. Sometimes when you don't see blood, the animal can withstand it. Close it up, but I have a hunch it's this way. Another thing to tell is when it's hit, you're going to see it digging in a little deeper right there, like right there. That's why we're called Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. You're tracking outdoors and you're tracking it. The hook's going to get a little heavier. And you're looking and you're looking. And you can just, there it is. I scanned it right there. There it is. Probably like 15, 20 yards, man. Woo! Let's go see what it looks like. High five of Mr. Rick. Oh my gosh, look at that cold buck. Woo! Man, this buck is huge. Look at the size of this buck. I tell you what, this is a Margo Ranch buck. Big body. Oh my gosh. He's a perfect cull buck for what we're doing out here, managing the herd. We got to take this guy out. 6.5-year-old buck. Look at the horns on him. The horns are really nice. They're thick. He's got some palmation there, right here. Right there, look at that rack on that side right there, and this side right here. But that's all he was gonna do. He served his purpose. Okay, we pull him out of the herd. And that's a good old cull buck. Nice one. Stay with us on the Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. We'll be right back.
One of the things about deer hunting, well, you gotta get him back to where you want him to be, not where he landed. And we'd like to take a moment to thank the Margo family and the Margo Ranch for an absolutely epic couple of days of hunting and tracking outdoors. That's the beauty of hunting. You get to see some of the most beautiful places that the good Lord gave us. And I might be a little partial, but some of those places are right here in Texas. Places like the Margo Ranch. If you'd like to know more about the Margo Ranch, you can either follow them on Facebook or you can call Fred Rodriguez. And remember, when hunting, follow all legal requirements set forth by Texas Parks and Wildlife. We really enjoyed our time out here in Starr County, Texas at the Margo Ranch. On behalf of Fred and everyone here at Texas Sportsman, happy holidays. Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors, gotta have it.
Well, folks, that was some trip out here at the Margo Ranch. Here at the Margo Ranch, what we're looking for on this particular show, we're looking for a cull buck. And I tell you what, thank God we got one. We were persistent, and it happened. We did an afternoon hunt, and then we did the morning hunt. You know, as managing the ranch out here, I've been doing it for 14 years. So it has to do with the corn feeders, the protein that we're using, and I tell you what, it's been working out. And what we were looking for in this particular this hunt was an old buck, what we call a cull buck, and it came out in the morning. We saw a nice buck, a bigger buck. It was a little more mature. It was almost probably a 10-pointer. I'm sure it was a 10-pointer. We were looking at it. It already had a doe with him. But I glanced over and I saw this other cull buck, and that's what we're looking for. The trophies that we try to harvest here are 5.5 to 6.5 year old. We can look at them by looking at the bodies, and if you look at the deer closely on the show, you can see what I'm talking about in aging the deer. We're in the MLD program here at the Margo Ranch here in Starr County, and we've been doing this, practicing it, for the past 15, 14 years, I believe. So you always want to cull out the bucks that are already old, they're mature. For more information on the MLD Managed Land Deer Program, check that out with Texas Parks and Wildlife in case you have a ranch and you want to get into that program as well. Just turn on over to Texas Parks and Wildlife. So this deer was very dear to me, okay, because it happened. It was a great effort between everybody and what we've been working on here at the Margo Ranch. From the Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors, we're going to wrap up this show and wrap up this year. It's been quite an adventure, and we're looking doing some more TV shows for you guys in the great outdoors, fishing and hunting and tracking outdoors. Until next week, we'll see you on the Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors. Gotta have it.
Thanks for watching the Texas Sportsman. And thanks for sticking with us for 30 years of bringing you the great outdoors. Join us next time for more excellent adventures right here on the Texas Sportsman. Brought to you by the Osiris Gonzalez Law Firm, Capital Farm Credit, Texas Sportsman Tracking Outdoors Magazine, South Padre Boat Rentals, L&F Distributors, That's Bush Light, Shallow Sport Boats, and the Sportsman in San Benito.